I know we all want this COVID thing to end, and it will. The restrictions in place now won't last forever. Smart people are figuring out how to get vaccines to everyone, but it will take a little longer. Until then, we need to recommit and finish strong. COVID won't stop spreading on its own. We have to stop spreading it. Meet with friends outside, social distance, and most of all, wear a mask. We're all in. Are you?
Some people see just another local Utah sports app. Oh, wait, what? A local Utah sports app? Introducing the new KSL Sports app, powered by KSLSports.com, Utah's only all-in local sports app, connecting you with all the action you love, the latest news, insider analysis, podcasts from the pros, and so much more, free. Available right now, anywhere you are. Download the free KSL Sports app today from your favorite app store.
At UCCU, we do mortgages fast.
Seriously fast. Just use your phone or computer to fill out UCCU's super easy mortgage application.
You'll receive an instant pre-approval before you start shopping.
Your completed mortgage file will be underwritten by UCCU's very own in-house professionals.
Like us.
Seriously fast.
Buying or refinancing a home has never been this easy.
Seriously fast and super easy.
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
It's what we do.
We love the new apartment.
The natural light is amazing.
Hardwood floors.
There is a bit of a clogging problem.
At least Geico makes it easy to bundle our renters and car insurance.
Yeah, helping us save even more.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
Right next to UVU, Wolverine Crossing is the premier award-winning student property in Orem. With renovations of nearly $5 million, Wolverine Crossing has the look and feel of luxury living, including contemporary upgrades and top-tier amenities. Wolverine Crossing supports a strong academic environment, whether you're on campus or remote, and the resident assistant program is nationally recognized, so safety and support is the top priority. Lease now and get half off your November rent. Wolverine Crossing, this is home.
Welcome to the beautiful campus of Utah Valley University here on Clyde Field as our Wolverines take on Seattle U Redhawks. Great game here on a cold spring morning here at UVU. The first time that these two teams are matching up since the heartbreaking loss in the championship game. Our camera right now is just in the moment of getting properly up where we can see the game field, but it will be here shortly as we see Amber Tripp make a pass in to forget a deflect for a corner kick. We'll see the UVU Wolverines come right off the bat in the first minute of the game as they have their first opportunity here on a corner kick. We saw this past weekend against Dixie that they have started capitalizing on these set pieces, and so it'll be exciting to see what they can do as Amber Tripp sends the ball in and gets cleared out by Seattle U all the way up the field to a lone Grace Beeston. And here we are. Welcome again to the UVU versus Seattle U matchup. Always a great game here, especially when it's home field. First time that they've gotten back together, like I said, since that heartbreaking loss in the championship game of the 2019 WAC championship tournament. Both teams going to come out hard. This is always a game that brings the best of both teams. And we saw that aggression right off the bat. And potentially on this counter, as Jenna Shepard does what she does best, slides, throws her body, gets it out of the lane of the goal. And easily collected by Isabel Dodd-Jones. First time the ball's in her hand, not too badly contested, but does the short play quickly in the back. And something that UVU will definitely have to focus on this game is really taking care of the ball in the back third of the field. 2 goals were given up against Dixie through mistakes from playing out of the back. Maybe a little lackadaisical with playing it and getting picked off and allowing goals to get in the back of the net. So hopefully UVU, as they're continuing to play with the 3 in the back, hopefully they can take good care of the ball as it gets worked up. Playing back to Heather, swinging it to the far side where Amber Tripp is able to try to collect it at her feet. And Seattle U just doing what they can to get it out of their attacking or their defensive third. As Grace Beeston plays it back to Isabel Daw, plays to Jenna Shepard, who then tries to gain that possession as they are playing it out of the back. Long ball up the field, not really with any purpose or direction of where that ball was going, but not a bad idea.
Well, Melanie, thank you for holding down the fort during that technical difficulty there with my headphones. Glad to be with you here. It's a chilly, frosty day, but both of these teams, as we are well aware, are very used to these frosty conditions. But one thing, no matter what the conditions are, between these two, whenever it comes down to the pitch, it's always fiery conditions on the pitch. And both of these teams, especially Utah Valley, want some revenge against the Seattle U team, who has been the perennial powerhouse in the WAC. And last year, especially 2 heartbreaking losses against the Redhawks up in Seattle. They hosted the tournament, and this is the team that essentially crushed Utah Valley's postseason dreams, and they were the one that beat Utah Valley in the championship match.
They are. And like you said, they're used to playing in all conditions. I have great memories of playing this team in the sun, in the hail, in the snow, whatever, and I feel like it's always this game that isn't the best weather, but it always guarantees a great match. Like you said, the powerhouse of the WAC usually wins every year, but on the contrary to that, when you look back at the past, the teams who do win when Seattle U doesn't win is our own UVU team. So there is some great history between these two teams, as they are usually the top 2 teams contending for that WAC championship title.
And Seattle U right now atop of the Western Athletic Conference. Their overall record tied with California Baptist, 7-1-1. Utah Valley right behind them at 6-2-1. And so this game, we know with California Baptist and their potential NCAA postseason ban, if they were to get there, just because of them jumping to Division I, this game has a lot of implications, Melanie. Like, I hate to use the cliche phrase "big game," in quotes, but this series this weekend is huge. Not only just for the regular conference standings, but for the momentum heading into that postseason tournament that's going to be held this year in Arizona, Grand Canyon. And again, Utah Valley trying to show a little bit more moxie here, as talking with this team, talking with Coach Chris LeMay. Everybody collectively feels, granted we know, as we've talked about throughout the broadcasts earlier this season, this isn't a full, healthy Utah Valley team top to bottom, but overall people feel like this is one of the better teams Coach LeMay has had since he's been here.
Yeah, it is. It's a strong, talented team, and they have those high hopes, as we were talking about, and this series, it's going to be a tough one. We've talked about how difficult it is to turn around and play the same team a second time, and this series is what honestly most of the opponents in the WAC is waiting for. After this series, we'll be able to start having a good idea of what the WAC tournament setup is going to look like.
So I do beg your pardon. I did read off some incorrect stats. My bad. The updated version of the stats: Utah Valley 7-4-2, Seattle U 8-3-1. And so the conference record for Utah Valley 6-2-1, and the conference record, those were the records I read off to you. The 7-1-1 Seattle U tied with California Baptist. And again, Utah Valley in their home greens, a different look than what we've seen so far this season. And Seattle U, the Redhawks, in their whites with the red trim. And in case you are late to the party, some starting lineup for you. In between the pickets for Seattle U, 00, Madison Wagaspak, and Sydney Carr, Gina Leet, Ava Benedetti, Casey Laboda, Michelle Adam, Leahy Manthai, Emily Bunnell, Bailey Hall, Natalie Dixon, and then Emily Hartson. And your typical usual suspects for Utah Valley, who has the free kick. That was Heather Stainbrook, Bree Eve, Sadie Brockbank. Stainbrook, who had a firing shot there, just deflected. London Miller, the freshman, seeing some good action. This ball played back into the box by Utah Valley, kicked out by Seattle U. Nicole Ray, good to see her back in the starting lineup. We saw, I know in the BYU game last week, she came out and was holding that hamstring. Backline standard: Grace Beeston, Jenna Shepard, Isabel Jones-Daw. Sydney Bushman, who had her first goal of the season last week at Dixie State. Utah Valley had 3 goals, but they gave away 2. And as head coach Chris LeMay said at the end of it, essentially, they'll take it. It wasn't the prettiest. But, again, the conference continuing to show off its muscles top to bottom. No team really in this conference is a team that you can sleep on. And the competition in this conference continues to grow. Ironically enough, Melanie, both of these teams have lost to the same opponent. Can you guess who that opponent is?
Cal Baptist. Or Grand Canyon, sorry.
Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon played Utah Valley tough. Utah Valley split that series in Phoenix. They won the first game, but lost the second game. The second game, again, had some questionable calls with the officials. And Isabel Jones-Daw got sent off with a red card in the 11th minute or so. And Kylie Tuimaulunga came in. And the first minutes of action that she saw the whole year, she had to face a PK. And she lost that PK. So that both matches were 1-0. Same with Seattle U and Grand Canyon. And so we know Coach Sissel, what he was able to do at UMKC with that success. And he's only been able to continue to improve upon Grand Canyon's success already with a fantastic program down there too.
Yeah, UMKC was definitely a team who was up here with the Seattle U and UVU, the contesting top 3 usually in the tournament. And like you said, Coach Cecil definitely bringing that to Grand Canyon, knocking off Seattle U and UVU this season.
Coach Julie Woodward, a head coach here for Seattle University, 23rd season, becoming a staple, an institution not only in the Pacific Northwest and in this conference, but in the state of the women's game, essentially. Sadie Brockbank on her horse trying to get there. And Emily Hartson with a good, solid defensive play to kick that one away. Now here comes Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp showing off her speed. Now Nicole Ray on the near side, but Seattle U trying to play keep away. Both teams very tactically sound. And honestly, just top to bottom, if you look at statistics and things, they're pretty similar. Almost completely dead on. And And essentially, again, another cliche phrase, but it's going to be the team who makes the least mistakes when it comes to games like this. It's anytime these two teams play, it's not going to be a 3-4 or a 4-5. You're looking at 1-0, 1-1, maybe a 2-1 here and there. But overall, very similar, and goals tend to be very scarce in these competitions.
They are, and it really is, like you said, capitalizing on those opportunities that they create. Both teams have almost, like you said, an identical playing style as well, and that alone can be hard to break down. You get used to trying to break down other teams, but when you're playing a team with the same tactic as you, it's a little more difficult.
Again, thank you for joining us here in Orem, Utah. Soggy Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Brandon Crow alongside Melanie Osler. Our producer, director, statistician right close to us, Ben Schroeder, as that kick is far and wide from Sydney Carr. That'll give way for Isabel Jones-Daw goal kick. Game time temperature right now, they say it's about 38 degrees, and it's only going to continue to drop, and the rain's steadily starting to come, and will continue to increase. Potentially could see some snow here by the end of the game. We approach the 14th minute. About a quarter of an hour has passed. Still no score. Utah Valley has one corner kick registered to them. Other than that, that last kick you just barely saw from Carr, it's been the closest that Seattle U's gotten to Isabel Jones-Daw. And Utah Valley struggling to find their rhythm as well. And Utah Valley coming into this, not very many home games, not very much experience on this new turf here, Melanie, in the spring season. Last week they were over at Southfield at BYU's campus. Then over the weekend they were playing down at Dixie State. Dixie State had that turf. They're playing on the football field. So then coming back here to this, got to get used to the passes, not essentially having to put as much on it, maybe take a little bit off of it, more adjusting periods.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a field that they don't like necessarily practicing on either. It's a game field. They like to keep it in game shape. And so, yeah, they don't have much experience.
Stainbrook's free kick goes right into the hands of Wagasback. The Green Men gang for Utah Valley banging their drums underneath some covers, trying to stay warm and provide some rhythm and some excitement in the stands. Utah Valley has their fair share of fans maintaining their social distance, being safe, but it's always good to have the 12th man here at Clyde Field. Isabel Jones-Daw now comes to the near side, looking for Nicole Ray, and this one's just sailed too far and too high. And a quick throw in for the Redhawks. Good touch there by Bree Eves up to Sadie Brockbank. Brockbank trying to fight through. Nice piece of defending there from Adam. And Jenna Shepard lays this one back to Bushman. Bushman kicks it away. Heather Stainbrook in full stride, kicks it up to London Miller. London Miller with the left foot trying to find Sadie Brockbank. And this one headed away back to the keeper, Wagasback.
As time goes on, as it gets wetter and wetter, we're starting to see the effects from that. The ball's skipping around, the ball's sliding, it's going faster. Definitely something hard to take control of when you're playing in these conditions, but it's so crucial. You gotta win the ball first time. You can't let it bounce. It's a difficult weather to play in, but hopefully they can start managing it.
You almost took the words right out of my mouth, Melanie. I was literally going to say the exact same thing. I guess after 5 years of calling games together, it's probably one of those things. Very similar, on the same page. And Utah Valley trying to get on the same page here. Attacking, again, the Wolverines are in the green. Amber Tripp being harassed by a couple Seattle U defenders. Trying to lay this one off for Brockbank. This one gets kicked back to Bushman. And you hear Coach Chris LeMay talking about tempo. Utah Valley trying to increase their tempo, trying to put some pressure on the Seattle U Redhawks team. So far, in the first 17 minutes, you can make an argument, Melanie, that Utah Valley has had more possession inside Redhawk territory.
Yeah, they have. They've been creating these opportunities. Now I think it's just time to be a little more patient to capitalize on that last final ball.
And the rain and wind continuing to increase and pour down here in Orem, Utah. And as you can imagine already, even though in most of the country and some other places it's technically springtime, but here in Utah we don't necessarily know what weather it is, and we have to wait every 15 minutes. Forecast could say it's going to be sunny, 75 degrees, but then you show up and it's almost snowing.
Which is part of the reason why this game tried getting moved up, or they did move it up from 6 to 4, trying to avoid that weather. So luckily, we hopefully won't have it as bad as it will be at 6.
Sadie Brockbank looking for some help. Sadie Brockbank trying to lay this one off for Amber Tripp, dispossessed momentarily by the Redhawks. She had London Miller to her left, but London Miller was offside and had to come back into an onside position. So here comes Seattle U now on an attack. Seattle U inside the box, trying to chip and kick this one, trying to curl it, I think, over Isabel Jones-Dawes' left shoulder. And this one misses, and it'll go out for a goal kick. And slowly this Seattle U University team is trying to pick and choose the ways that they can try and get through this back line of Utah Valley.
Yeah, and they're definitely, we've seen a few good opportunities created, and you can see it comes, like we said, UVU's possessing, and they're getting the ball up in Seattle's half and possessing there as well. But the second that it gets dispossessed, that is where Seattle U is trying to capitalize, and that is where they're able to expose the outside of and create those outside shots that we've seen.
And if I was a betting man, I would have to say that the majority of this possession battle is going to be right here in the center third of this pitch. But Utah Valley again on their heels defensively. Seattle U again knocking on the door. An errant pass deflected. The Redhawks trying to recalibrate here and get back on the attack. '21st minute. This one chested down by Eves. Eves finally comes to the near side, and Stainbrook, who comes all the way here to Nicole Ray. Nicole Ray has no green shirts in front of her immediately, trying to lay this one up to Sadie Brockbank. This one kicked down karate kick style by Natalie Dixon. Solid piece of defending there from Dixon. If that ball slides through, it might have been very dangerous, as Sadie Brockbank looked like she was onside.
Yeah, came with a little indecisiveness. We saw back in the BYU game when UVU had that space, and when they took the ball up with purpose, that is when we saw the most success. You kind of saw Nicole Ray here in that space, hesitating a little bit as Bree Eves plays it out to Sadie Brockbank to hopefully capitalize.
Sadie Brockbank trying to be unselfish, going back to Amber Tripp, and in doing so gives back to the Redhawks. Jenna Shepard now stepping up to the midfield stripe. Jenna Shepard gets dispossessed by Seattle U. Benedetti leading the attack. And the Redhawks trying to switch the field now. Utah Valley again playing on their heels defensively.
A great recovery by Sydney Bushman, though. You saw Seattle U out wide all by themselves with plenty of space in that area. And Sydney Bushman, something that we've been waiting to see, was there right before the ball even got to Seattle U's player's foot.
So Casey Loboda steps off, and coming on for her for the Redhawks, Sarah Crichton. And a whistle is called. This is going to be against the Redhawks. So Seattle U committing the foul, giving way for a Utah Valley free kick. Just entering in the 23rd minute at Clyde Field in Orem, Utah. Rain continuing to pour down, weather continuing to get chillier and chillier. And if I start slurring my speech, it's because I can't quite open my mouth. So I beg your pardon. Redhawks with a two-handed toss inside. Now Amber Tripp comes away with it for this. Amber Tripp, miscommunication between her and Julie Carter on the right-hand side. So this matchup between these two programs is the 21st time that both of these programs have met. And a nice string pass, trying to find the outside running there was Bailey Hall, tapped out by Grace Beeston for the Wolverines. Seattle U in those 20 matches so far, Melanie, holds a 16-2-2 series advantage over Utah Valley. And Seattle U has won 3 straight over the Wolverines. And like we mentioned earlier before, 2 of those straight came last season in Seattle. And so Utah Valley definitely has a young squad, but they know their history, and some of those squad members were actually able to witness that last year, and a lot of members on this Utah Valley team trying to exact some revenge. And they know, again, that this game in and of itself isn't going to take back everything. They have this game, then they have a game on Saturday, and then in the conference tournament.
Yeah, it's not going to be the only time that UVU sees Seattle U. It's going to be a great game.
The 24th minute, Nicole Ray playing defense. Seattle U playing this one inside the box. This one was last touched off of Utah Valley, the referees say, so it's going to be a corner kick for the Redhawks. First corner kick opportunity of the afternoon for Seattle U. Sydney Carr sizes the the corner kick with their left foot. Corner kick placed on the outside part of the box. Bunch of Utah Valley jerseys up in the air. This ball played right back and kicked away, headed away defensively by Utah Valley. Isabel Jones-Dow was there in the near post to make a diving save. Ball didn't even get to her, as that back line of Utah Valley's defense was the one that put it out of harm's way.
What a great, we always reference the back line as a brick wall, and nothing shows that brick wall more than that. The ball just ricocheted right off of the defensive line.
And a good job by the Wolverines to keep their arms and hands down as well. Heather Steinberg with her left foot trying to find Sadie Brockbank. The flag stays down. Sadie Brockbank trying to go 1v3 here. Brockbank comes back to her right. Brockbank shot, not enough venom on it. And she gives a fist pump in frustration as she knows she had an opportunity there. Just about 2 or 3 feet to her left would have been a goal past Wagasback.
Yeah, definitely not the shot that Sadie wished to get off, but what a beautiful timed run. You saw Seattle U's back line, even coaches trying to get that offsides call, but it was a beautiful timed run. Right when the ball was released, Sadie was right in there with the space. Unfortunately, wasn't able to put it away as she slowly warms up.
Oh, poor clearance here from Wagasback. Sadie Brockbank, wide open shot. Brockbank's shot deflected. Another solid piece of defending here from the back line of Seattle U. Casey Laboda and company doing work back there. Michelle Adam was there as well. Sadie Brockbank, 2 point-blank shots. And they're going to call a foul on Grace Beeston when it looked like some savvy veteran work there from Bailey Hall, who just kind of fell on Beeston backwards. But the Redhawks get the free kick. I'm not the one out there. That's why I have a microphone, Melanie. But maybe, I don't know, if Sadie Brockbank with that first touch just tried to blast it in, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard because you don't know the exact angle she was at. But you're right, the keeper was out. She had the goal in front of her. The more touches you take, the slower and the angles just decrease. The team is able to close in on you. So ultimately, yes, first touch is always best, especially when you're trying to catch the keeper out of the goal.
Utah Valley with the throw-in. Sadie Brockbank with the touch. Dispossessed by the Redhawks. The Redhawks trying to switch the field, going off to the left-hand side. So some fresh substitutions about to come in for Seattle U. And we're seeing a lot of play from the backside for this Utah Valley team, played up to the near side. Nicole Ray, again, miscommunication between her and Brockbank, and you see some frustration from Nicole Ray. Sadie Brockbank looking for a couple opportunities here. Amber Tripp and the Utah Valley Wolverines on the attack. Julie Carter, a lot of space in front of her, plays it back. This one tapped in the box. Heather Stainbrook collides. Nicole Ray finds it. Now Amber Tripp calling for it. Amber Tripp fighting through some defenders. Tripp looking for some help. Trying to clear this one away. The ball goes back to Bree Eves. Eves with a nice touch to dance around the defender. Eves gets it to Stainbrook. Stainbrook's first touch a little bit too hard. Back to Ray. Ray gets tripped. Referee holds his whistle. Grace Beeston comes away, gets a foot on it. Eves, more physicality here from the Redhawks. Referee's letting them play. This one last touched off with Seattle U. Nicole Ray elects to have Grace Beeston with the toss. Beeston quickly gets it into Stainbrook. Stainbrook has a lot of room in front of her, plays it on the floor to London Miller. That ball just gets past London Miller. Now Jenna Shepard comes in to intercept. One touch now, trying to find London Miller. And Utah Valley with the pickpocket here. Heather Stainbrook pulling it back. Stainbrook trying to lay this one off to London Miller to her left. Stainbrook down on her knees. And you're starting to see, just in that 2-minute glimpse right there, why Seattle U has the record that they do. That back line not budging.
Not budging and disrupting play, right? Like, we haven't been able to make that final pass and make it complete. So, yes, they're just completely shutting down, disrupting UVU's play, which it makes it very difficult to get into your groove of play.
We're at the half-hour mark. Still scoreless here at Clyde Field in Orem, Utah. Utah Valley, 2 registered shots on goal, 1 corner kick. And Seattle U, 1 corner kick and 1 registered shot on goal for them. Anna Pickering and Cassidy McCormick set to come in for the Wolverines at the next opportunity. And for the Redhawks, coming in will be Michaela Mori and Valentina Bernal. We mentioned Utah Valley coming into this matchup, Melanie, after taking down Dixie State down south in very comfortable conditions, I might add. I was watching that game from my house here, looking outside to snow and cold, and watching Coach LeMay in shorts and a T-shirt coaching with palm trees around him. I was very jealous. Utah Valley came away victorious and now in 3-2. And Seattle U comes into this one after taking down Chicago State last week. The Redhawks won 2 straight in a pair of home games against the Cougars. And again, that last loss for Seattle U came on March 13th against Grand Canyon. That was a 2-1 setback. Seattle U has won 8 of their last 10 games coming into this one. And it definitely shows with how tactical and how precise they are. Utah Valley knows that not necessarily a technically perfect game, but they just have to wait and be patient enough for their moments. And when those moments come, they have to be like Ernesto de la Cruz, and they got to seize their moment.
Exactly, and that all comes from the patience before. You can't get anxious, you can't get goal hungry and wanting just to shoot it and get it off your foot. You got to be patient. So you got to keep your composure to open up those opportunities. When you're composed and when you're keeping that possession, that's what ultimately opens up the field. That's what disrupts, causes mistakes. Then we can capitalize.
Anna Pickering, one of the fresh substitutions, trying to find her advantage. This one was last kicked out of play by Seattle U. throw in quickly by the Wolverines. Julie Carter with it now. Julie Carter with the left foot swings this one into the box. Misses her teammates, comes all the way back on the near side now for Seattle. In full Red Hawk territory, in full possession. Benedetti. Dixon. Hall. Good ball movement here from the Red Hawks. Carr surveys. Carr continuing to attack. Jenna Shepard on her back heel. Cindy Bushman gets around her. Isabel Jones-Daw right there to scoop that one up. But a nervy moment for that back line, Melanie.
Definitely. They were coming out. They were exposing their weaknesses and fired shot to Isabel. Another weakness in the weather that you can see. The ball, it's extremely hard to gather. We saw it deflect off of Isabel Jones-Daw, which can result in scary opportunity as well. That's when you identify that, hey, the ball's skipping, it's going to be deflecting off of the keeper, follow the ball.
So some substitutions coming in here for Seattle U. And Coach Julie Woodward giving some words of encouragement for her players on the pitch. And nice, fantastic pass from Carr down on the near side to a streaking Mom. Mom swings this one into the box. Isabel Jones-Daw there to corral it out of the air. 34th minute, still scoreless here in Orem. About 10 minutes and some change left here in the first half. And an absolute chilly first half. And conditions like this just make it even more difficult to try and find your rhythm out there and get comfortable. And it makes even the littlest touches seem that much worse. Bushman trying to find Tripp. Headed up in the air by Seattle U. Bunnell doing a fantastic job as a commander of that midfield for the Red Hawks. As they play it on the way to the near side in Dixon. Dixon now in Utah Valley territory trying to find Carr. Carr with the back touch. And a nifty touch at that. Cannot get past Beeston, however. Eves to Bushman. Now Beeston switches things up, goes to Julie Carter on the right-hand side. This one gets past that midfield. Amber Tripp with it in the center circle. Amber Tripp trying to come near side to Cassidy McCormick, and she does. McCormick, beautiful pass up to Stainbrook. Stainbrook has her head on a swivel, looking around. Trying to cross, not enough juice on it to get to Julie Carter. Good idea from Stainbrook. And here comes Seattle U on a counterattack. Flag stays down. Seattle U with Malm. Malm outside the box, now inside the box. Chips this one to the back post, headed down, and in the back of the net. And Seattle U finds the breakthrough in the 36th minute.
A great goal by Seattle U. You saw them capitalize that space that they have on the wing that has been here kind of throughout the whole game. Beautiful job by Mom on Seattle U. Take that touch inside, pick that placement. Beautiful ball for a fortunate finish for Seattle U.
Mom with that penetration, and nobody really marking on that backside post.
Yeah, as far as defense goes, not what we probably like to see. I mean, always, never what we want to see. But you just see that she was unmarked. No one was goal side. Right when you see those players go down the wing, about to send that ball in, you gotta sprint your butt off to get goal side to prevent such an easy goal.
So Sydney Carr is credited with that goal for the Red Hawks, and that goal puts a big one up on the board for Seattle U. And in a game like this, where it seemed like in that first half, Utah Valley really had their fair share of opportunity, their fair share of possession and momentum deep inside Seattle U territory, it just makes it even that much more frustrating that just a quick second like that of lapse on the defensive side can give way to a 1-0 lead for your opponent.
Exactly. It's the game of soccer. It's frustrating. It's how it goes. But ultimately as well, it just shows the importance of, hey, it's not as many opportunities as you create. It's not how much you possess. It's about creating those opportunities and capitalizing it and putting it away when it matters, which Seattle U has always done a phenomenal job at, where UVU, it kind of takes a little bit more time than it should to get that good opportunity to score. And honestly, not what we want to see in this game if you're a UVU fan, because as we've seen it, that goal, Seattle U's a different team. They're coming after UVU. They're getting in the attacking third, and they have a new motive, right? They're up, they're comfortable, they're going to keep coming at it.
And talking about taking care of business, again, that goal registered to Carr, and that is Carr's nation-leading 14th goal on the season. So not only does she lead the Red Hawks, she leads the conference, but she leads the whole nation in goals so far on this season. What she knows best, and really one of the only things she knows how to do, is capitalize. And those are the type of people and type of players that Coach Julie Woodward has continuously been able to get to come in and to buy into this Red Hawk program up in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, those are the players you want. Those are the players you need.
About 7 minutes left here in the first half. Seattle U, ever since the goal, has just been living inside Utah Valley territory, and here they are again, knocking on the door. Flag is up, however, for Malm. And see how Utah Valley responds here. Seattle U right now playing keep away Utah Valley, trying to beat Utah Valley at a game that they play and they know best. Utah Valley trying to be more possession oriented, and Seattle U the same way. This ball deflected, last touched off of Cassidy McCormick, and a late signal gives the Red Hawks the ball. Utah Valley so far this season, Melanie, when the opponents score first, they're 1-3-0. And then going into half, if they are trailing at halftime, they are 0-3-0. So statistics show, I'm not a big statistics guy, I just throw it out there because we do have all sorts of people that watch these broadcasts. But if you're one that's really living and basing how you view the game off statistics, that would bode no good for Utah Valley, as that shot was no good. Referee blew the whistle. But there is some truth to the numbers.
There are. And ultimately, that's what we always talk about, right? It's such a big importance to get out and score first, because it sets the game. It sets the tone.
So 41st minute, about less than 5 minutes left here to play in the first half. Brandon Crow alongside Melanie Osler. A frosty, chilly, frigid afternoon here in Orem, Utah. And Seattle U smiling right now as they have a 1-0 lead on their region rival, Utah Valley. Julie Carter looking for Anna Pickering in the box. This one takes 2 hops and a skip right into Waguespack's arms. Wolverines trying to see if they can find and squeak in an equalizer in the waning minutes of the first half. And Seattle U, who, like you said, Melanie, after the goal can play the aggressor, but if they choose not to, they can also choose to pack it in and play more conservative because they know that they have that 1-goal cushion. Mangelson giving chase for the Wolverines. Seattle U doing a good job of playing keep away. Now Anna Pickering coming in and almost was able to get a toe on it. Seattle U forced to just kick it out of play. An influx of green shirts continuing to enter in the Red Hawk territory. It's going to be Cassidy McCormick to give way for Grace Beeston to throw it in.
Great pressure from Anna Pickering, though. That's ultimately, sometimes if you know you're not going to get the ball, put that pressure. Put the pressure on defensive line. Make them play the ball out to give you a throw-in, to reset and get going.
Bree Eves gets dispossessed, and Seattle U has numbers. 3-on-2, and a bad pass there from the Redhawks right into the wickets of Sydney Bushman, who closes the gap and kicks it upfield, trying to find Amanda Mangleson. Can she get there in time? Ball still loose. Mangleson goes down. Wagasback goes down. Cleared out by the back line of Seattle U. Nervy play for the Redhawks here, and this one is kicked out of play, be a throw-in for the Wolverines. Good pressure from Mangleson.
Great pressure and her speed, showing off what she, one of her biggest strengths, in my opinion. That speed is something that can't be matched.
Amanda Mangleson, those big, long legs, those long strides. She got there a lot quicker than Wagasback thought she would. Jenna Shepard playing it over to Sydney Bushman now. 43rd minute, about 2 minutes left here in the first half. Utah Valley looking for an equalizer. And this one, as you can see, with the more that it rains, the more that those balls, which could have taken one or two more hops, just shoot right off the turf.
Yeah, and again, one of those, those are the balls that you kind of need to learn from. Maybe that style of play isn't going to be the best right now with these conditions. We've seen a few. She almost got lucky on one ball, but then right away, the next time she touched it, same thing, skips right out of bounds. Doesn't really do any good for UVU. Needs to maybe look to see if we can not skip the middle third and try to build up to go into the attacking third.
Nikki Olanda giving away for a one-touch. Amanda Mangleson now has it for the Wolverines. This one played back to Nikki Olanda. Olanda trying to play this one on a ground. Good idea. Not enough pace on it to get by Wagasback. About 90 seconds left here in the first half. Seattle U, Carr, nation's leading goal scorer, tacked on her 14th on the season in the 35th minute. And Utah Valley has been able to put more high pressure on the Seattle U team in the last 4 or 5 minutes. And it's causing this back line to be a little bit shakier than they were in the first 30.
It is, and I mean, we said that throughout this half, right? We need to create those mistakes, and the way we're going to create those mistakes is create that pressure, put that pressure, make them not know what they're going to do and let it deflect, and then we capitalize.
Nikki Olanda really showing off some strength over the last several minutes. When plays need to be made, Nikki Olanda for the Wolverines has been there. And Wagasback now taking her time. And about 20 seconds left as the wind continues to pick up, and now the rain continuing to come down in a slant. And Wagasback is just going to slowly kick this one up in the air. And the final 10 seconds are counted. Clyde Field. Grace Beeston kicks this out of play. Still in play. Kicks it downfield. And that's how the first half is going to end, Melanie. So Seattle U gets that first goal of the match, and they get that lone goal of the half. Your overall thoughts on how Seattle U played in that first half?
Oh, they played great. They saw their opportunities. Yeah, they maybe didn't possess as much as they usually do, but they created the opportunities and capitalized. I think that goal resulted in from watching game film, knowing that UVU has all that space on the wings. Expose it, take it down there, and place a beautiful ball as they did. Great half by Seattle U.
On the other side for Utah Valley, what are you talking to your team about if you're head coach Chris LeMay?
We got to get back to our game plan. The weather isn't going in our favor, but we can't control that. We can control our game plan. Let's not just kick it. I've seen too many long balls. Let's get it to our feet, pass it, make a complete pass, calm down, take a breath, play our game.
Halftime score, Clyde Field and Orem, Utah. Utah Valley trails 1-0. Seattle U, the Redhawks striking first. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the WAC Digital Network.
We love the new apartment.
The natural light is amazing.
Hardwood floors.
There is a bit of a clogging problem.
At least Geico makes it easy to bundle our...
Let's do this. Hey. Come on. Creative, the world needs an answer. Give us the answer. Creativity is the answer. Never play on repeat. Put your own spin on things. Let a new wave begin.
All right, come on, let's go. 2 seconds.
Creators run the show. We want the answer. From the cage to the stage. Rise up from the streets to the pros.
So much.
Creativity is the answer to a world divided. Tear down those walls. Make worlds unite. Script. Rewrite the rules. Creativity is the answer. Now over to you.
It's not always easy being the exception. They'll tell you you don't belong, that it's not your place, that it'll never fly. But here, you learn that you have a choice. You can listen to those voices, or you can leave them all speechless. But the key component there is you.
Some people see just another local Utah sports app. Oh, wait, what? A local Utah sports app? Introducing the new KSL Sports app, powered by KSLSports.com. Utah's only all-in local sports app, connecting you with all the action you love. The latest news, insider analysis, podcasts from the pros, and so much more. Free. Available right now, anywhere you are. Download the free KSL Sports app today from your favorite app store.
Join the Wolverine Club, a simple message with a major impact.
Finds the back of the net for the Wolverines!
Support student athletes like former Utah Valley University women's soccer star, graduate, and Rhodes Scholar finalist Hannah Bruce. Not only is Hannah the first UVU student athlete to be a Rhodes Scholar finalist, she is currently studying to earn a master's degree in neuroscience at the renowned University of Oxford in England. Support the next Wolverine Rhodes Scholar finalist by joining the Wolverine Club today.
At UCCU, we do mortgages fast.
Seriously fast. Just use your phone or computer to fill out UCCU's super easy mortgage application.
You'll receive an instant pre-approval before you start shopping.
Your completed mortgage file will be underwritten by UCCU's very own in-house professionals.
Like us.
Seriously fast.
Buying or refinancing a home has never been this easy.
Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. and then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports.
At Intermountain Healthcare, we understand that broken arms haven't stopped. Babies continue to be born, emergencies continue to happen, and doctor visits are still needed. At Intermountain Healthcare, we've put the measures in place to safely care for you in these difficult times. So please, don't put off the care you need, especially for stroke-like symptoms, chest pain, difficulty breathing, or other urgent care. We're here for you. Visit intermountainhealthcare.org/here4you to learn how to get the care you need.
At UCCU, we do mortgages fast. Seriously fast.
Just use your phone or computer to fill out UCCU's super easy mortgage application.
And buying or refinancing a home has never been this easy.
Seriously fast and super easy.
Welcome back to a soggy Clyde Field in Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Brandon Crow alongside Melanie Osler. Ben Schroeder as well, putting this thing together with his fantastic camera crew who are braving the conditions high above. Thank you guys for doing that. They are the ones and the magicians bringing you this live content. Utah Valley in their home greens. Seattle U in their whites with the red trim. And Anna Pickering trying to get things started for the Wolverines off the early set. And London Miller, the freshman, goes down in the box to some boo birds in the stands. Utah Valley trails 1-0. That goal coming courtesy of the nation's leading goal scorer, Sydney Carr, in the 35th minute. Her 14th goal on the season. Seattle U with 3 corner kicks to Utah Valley's 2. A couple shots on goal apiece for each team. And very interested to see how this Utah Valley team comes out of the gate in the second half, Melanie. Trailing by 1 at home against Seattle U, the perennial powerhouse, their rival regionally. And essentially, like you've said, coming down the last several years, it's been Utah Valley and Seattle U going essentially back and forth and representing the WAC when it comes to postseason play. And that's something right there. What we just saw is something that we talked about before we headed to break, where Melanie, maybe Utah Valley can be more patient with the football like we've seen instead of trying to just launch things.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't do us good. Goes safely into the...
Continues to progress as looked like London Miller was getting held, and London Miller is going to draw a card, possibly. Oh, referee reaches into his pocket, and there is the card. And this one is going to go against Michelle Adams for Seattle U. And in basketball, that would have been a flagrant 1, maybe, taking a scoring chance, an opportunity away from the Wolverines. But Melanie, set pieces for the Wolverines so far this season. And here is a perfect opportunity for the Wolverines to capitalize.
It is. And we saw a sneak peek against Dixie. They're starting to warm up, but they've had so many of these open opportunities, so hopefully they can capitalize.
So Wagasback between the posts wants a wall of 5. So 5 red shirts directly in front of Heather Stainbrook, 1 lone red shirt to her left. Her whole squad virtually to her left as well. Anna Pickering, the lone man, to her right. The referee backs up the wall. Wagasback comes over to the near post, directing traffic. The wall. Stainbrook awaits the whistle. Stainbrook from about 10 yards or so outside of the box. Players start to move. Stainbrook with the low shot, deflected right into the chest of Seattle U. And again, that back line showing why they're so good. Now Carr gets a touch, trying to get around Grace Beeston. Seattle U has numbers now. Beeston coming back to play defense. Beeston jostling. Carr shoves Beeston down. Offensive foul there. And they're going to give a free kick to Seattle U. From our vantage point, it looked like the contact was initiated by the forward, Carr. Looked like a Derrick Henry stiff arm.
Yeah, they were shoulder to shoulder that whole time. It was a great battle between them two. But, yeah, I think you're ultimately right.
So Utah Valley had a free kick just outside the box moments ago, and now here comes the pendulum swinging in the favor of Seattle U. Their opportunity more enticing, especially as the weather continues to get worse. You can see the raindrops dripping from the camera on your monitor, however you're joining us and watching us. The rain continuing to get colder and colder. Here's a shot, chipped in and deflected away by Utah Valley. Isabel Jones-Daw had that red. Seattle U still in attack mode. Inside the box, and an opportunity missed for the Redhawks. They had people home. Nobody could just knock it through.
They had them there. The ball was skipping. Here's another opportunity.
Jenna Shepard able to get this one up and to the left, trying to find Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp runs into a defender. Natalie Dixon lowering the shoulder, and Amber Tripp goes down. More physicality from the Seattle U program. And this is gut check stuff here. This is where you got to dig deep inside of yourself if you're Utah Valley and really try and pull something out of you and really show you're down one, you're at home. This team is being physical. The weather is really bad, but this is where you have to take that next step if you want to continue to improve as a player and as a team and as a program. Dangerous ball deflected. Amber Tripp trying to throw like a shoulder or a head, something into that ball.
Yeah, but you're ultimately right. Again, that opportunity you see, deflects off the head, creates a dangerous opportunity. Those are the moments that you got to figure out, hey, let's get motivated. Let's do that. We have a lot going in our favor. As you said, they're home. It's against Seattle U. We have the tournament in our favor.
A searching ball from Seattle U. And Sydney Bushman finally comes away to clear it out. And be a throw-in for the Redhawks. And we'll get back to your point after this little possession here, Melanie. And a quick throw-in for the Redhawks. Anna Pickering there on the defensive side for the Wolverines. Carr gets a flick on it into the box. And Julie Carter kicks this one out. But Seattle U just swarming the ball. Anytime the ball goes anywhere, you'll see a horde of white shirts around it. Searching ball looking for Fitzpatrick. Brockbank now with it. Brockbank dancing around her defender. Brockbank getting in an altercation. Referee says play on. Playing advantage Seattle U. And the referee's going to pull back a little bit and have a discussion with Sadie Brockbank. This ball gets past Seattle U. Here comes Sadie Brockbank trying to find London Miller. Good piece of toe touch save defending from Seattle U.
Yeah, and ultimately, I don't know when it's going to set in, but UVU's got to get the ball, take care of the ball, right? They've got to get that in their mind. We're having too many balls that are going right into the Seattle U's foot or under our feet. We're simply not taking care of the ball and doing what we need to do with it.
And almost essentially what you said in a nutshell was assistant coach for Utah Valley, Seth Tremblay, talking about stop punting the ball and just trying to get up and work your way up like they have been so far all this season.
Exactly, and I mean, I don't want to be the downer as the ball's given away for a count.
Here comes Sydney Carr again on the attack for for Seattle U. Nice defensive play there, and they're going to call a foul on Jenna Shepard, and they're going to award a penalty kick to the Redhawks in the 54th minute. Looked like Jenna Shepard had the position. Looked like she was able to get her touch on the ball. But when you are the nation's leading scorer, you've got more clout to you.
Exactly. It'd be good. Nice to see that replay completely because I do think she was able to wrap around, get the ball, as we'll see here real quickly.
So Carr has it. Carr dancing in the box. You see Shepard right in front of her. She tries to go around Shepard. Shepard slides. I didn't see anything erroneous there. But needless to say, Seattle U with an opportunity to go up 2. Emily Bunnell at the spot. Bunnell into the back of the net. 2-0 Redhawks in the 54th.
Again, but ultimately we could go back a few plays leading up to that goal. What ultimately resulted in that goal was not taking care of the ball. We saw Nicole Londa just carelessly give it away, which resulted in a high-pace chase down the field.
So 54th minute, 2-0 is the lead for the Redhawks of Seattle University in Orem, Utah. Utah Valley, who looked like were climbing a hill, now definitely climbing themselves a mountain against top dog in the conference, your arch rival, your foe, your regional foe, and a team that you're trying to exact revenge on for what they did to you last year in the tournament.
Exactly. Not what you want at this point in the half, but again, hopefully you can snap out of it, right? Calm down, stick to what you're good at, play the ball, get it to your teammates' feet, and get it up the field.
Free kick awarded to the Wolverines. Sydney Bushman with her left foot trying to find Sadie Brockbank. Brockbank chests this one down to herself, looking for some help. Surrounded again by white shirts. Nice layoff down there for Grace Beeston on the byline. Beeston inside the box. Nobody home to clean it up for the Wolverines. Cleared out by the Redhawks. Now Brockbank again with it. Brockbank going to her right. Brockbank sliding it up for Amber Tripp. Now Pickering is able to corral it for the Wolverines. Pickering back out. Beeston surveys. Beeston serves one into the box. Headed up in the air by Amber Tripp. Nobody back home on that far post. And this one will go out of play for a goal kick. Earlier this year, Utah Valley, Melanie, looked like things had finally clicked. They were cruising, and then all of a sudden the Lancers from California Baptist came in here, and they just completely sucker punched Utah Valley. And honestly, for me, Utah Valley has shown glimpses that they are still that team, but overall, since that matchup here at Clyde Field, I feel like this Utah Valley team has kind of been on their heels trying to get back to find who they are.
Yeah, they definitely have been, and with a few injuries along the way, it hasn't been helpful as well. But hopefully, you take a look back at Cal Baptist, and usually you hope for those games to kind of be a reality check to the team. We knew this team had a lot of confidence and a lot of ability and talent that they were really excited to showcase. And then it gets shut down by California Baptist. So those are the games where you would like to have a reaction. It's also fair to say and to see most of the time where it kind of can knock you down as well.
And again, one of those big injuries for Utah Valley, mid-season injuries, comes to their back line. Megan Sullivan, one of the anchors of that back line, and we know how much she means to this team, what she's been able to do for this team in the past. And it's just, you can't replace a savvy veteran, especially on the back line in clutch, crunch time situations. And Coach LeMay, again, just having his fair share of injury woes as Utah Valley with Sadie Brockbank just barely misses the outside post. Brockbank, the closest shot she's had to go into the back of the net so far today.
And what a bullet it was. Seriously. We talk about it. We've seen, or that was our main takeaway from the half is, hey, why don't you shoot it? I know our angle is not the best, but just shoot it. See what can happen from it. That is exactly what Sadie Brockbank does best, and she has a bullet of a leg, so why not take those shots? And barely goes right.
Wagasback was in the best position she could have been, just a little bit more curve and bend. Maybe we're talking inches, and Brockbank would have found the first goal for the Wolverines. And Amber Tripp gets called for a foul from behind. Free kick coming up for Seattle U. Jenna Shepard just going to elect to take it herself up the pitch. Shepard now goes left to Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp up to Stainbrook. Now Miller. Miller trying to find the true ball back to Tripp. And referee's delayed signal. So Nicole Orlando will throw the ball in as we are just about a minute shy of the hour mark here at Clyde Field at Orem, Utah. So Jenna Shepard, left-hand side to Beeston. Beeston trying to get around Seattle U's defense. And this one played all the way back to Isabel Jones-Daw. And Coach Julie Woodward looking to send in 5 more fresh legs for the Redhawks here. And Seattle U on the attack. Anna Pickering says, hold on. London Miller trying to get to the ball. Bree Eves now for the Wolverines. Eves trying to get up, look for Stainbrook. This one dispossessed, last touched off of the Redhawks by Gina Leet. And Nicole Orlando will go ahead and throw it in for the Wolverines as we're at the 61st minute in Clyde Field. Utah Valley trails 2-0. Seattle U got their first goal in the first half, about 35 minutes in, from the nation's leading goal scorer, Sydney Carr, her 14th on the season. And about 10 minutes ago, Seattle U got their second off of a penalty kick. Emily Bunnell was the one who put it through for the Redhawks. But here's London Miller for the Wolverines. London Miller laying it off for Stainbrook. Stainbrook goes, trying to go for it inside the box. Both players go down, and this is kicked out of play. And more frustrations and tensions arising for Utah Valley. A lot of contact going on out there.
It is. Seattle Youth has always been a contact team, an aggressive team, and UVU as well.
Bushman with the long-distance connection right in the hands of Wagasback.
But yeah, when it's this intense of a game against Seattle U, you're going to see the aggression start showing from both sides.
Jenna Shepard now elects to go to Heather Stainbrook. Stainbrook with the dummy trying to find Miller. Miller gets some contact, and Stainbrook too hard of a touch, loses it. Jenna Shepard for the Wolverines. Plays it back to Bushman. Now, again, you have a 2-0 lead here, Melanie. If you're Coach Woodward and you're looking at the substitution, you have 5 fresh legs here. Are you trying to make sure you can give those starters some rest? Because, again, we have another game here in 2 days. And this is towards the end of the season. You're making those preparations for that conference tournament. But in a game like this, you're trying to go more conservative here, kind of pack everybody in defensively here as we see Nicole Lando with the shot deflected. Bunnell with the header right back to Wagasback. Could have been dicey for the Seattle U.
Yeah, but ultimately, to your question, you're going to watch the game. You're going to watch how it starts to play out. You're definitely going to pull out the subs or the starters, as we are about to see here, and then you're just reading the situation. Is UVU getting more opportunities and making a comeback in the game? And if they are, you're going to get your starters back in to finish the game, because that's what's most important. You got to get the win. But ultimately, yeah, she probably will be keeping her starters out, reading the situation, seeing what she can do with her starters, and hopefully able to reserve them for Saturday.
Saturday, as of right now, the silver lining, I guess, is that the forecast is supposed to be in the 60s and sunny. So that game will be played here at noon Mountain Standard Time. So that is 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific Time for those in the Pacific Northwest in the Emerald City. So you can have breakfast, a little brunch, and some soccer with us here on Saturday.
Those are my type of Saturday mornings.
So 64th minute here at Orem and Clyde Field. Utah Valley trailing Seattle U. Seattle U, the team in the conference, tied with California Baptist. Utah Valley right behind him at number 3. And Utah Valley trying to come from behind here today. And so far, this back line for Seattle U has done a fantastic job at stifling this Utah Valley offense in any sort of attack that they try to muster. Nicole landed to Bushman. And Nicole Landon gets a foot on it. And this one last touched by Bunnell, the goal scorer from the penalty spot in the 54th minute. Woo, beautiful filth from Heather Stainbrook. Now here comes Anna Pickering for the Wolverines. Pickering lays this off to London Miller. Miller trying to go back to Pickering inside the box. Self-sacrifice from Seattle U. And another foul called against Utah Valley gives way for a free kick for the Redhawks.
Yeah, props to Julie Carter, though. I don't know what exactly more to do in that situation when you have Seattle players on the ground playing on the ground. Yet you're just trying to get the ball, right? So props to Julie Carter trying to get the ball, but results in grabbing a little too much.
There's a great build-up by the Wolverines from Heather Stainbrook to Anna Pickering. Now Julie Carter lays this one off for Grace Beeston on the byline. Beeston, beautiful ball back in toward the box. Nobody home to put anything on it. Anna Pickering was the intended target on the near post, and she couldn't get there before Wagasback did.
But they're creeping up. They're creating those opportunities more than we have seen throughout the whole game, I'd say.
Seattle U on the attack yet again. Redhawks sending this one in. Nicole Landa deflecting it just enough to get it outside the box. Bree Eves coming in, trying to get in front of it. Nicole Landa finally gets a toe on it. Bunnell, the goal scorer, trying to chip this one in the box, and Isabel Jones-Dodd there to get it.
A great job by Nicole Landa, though. Talk about coming in and making a defensive impact. She's the one holding the defensive line together and honestly denying most of the opportunities.
Holanda. Now Amber Tripp. Amber Tripp to London Miller. Miller with the touch to Pickering. And as soon as Utah Valley can get a touch on it, again, that back line from Seattle U just swarms. Nicole Landon now playing chase. And the flag is up on the far side. Jenna Shepard plays it back quickly for the Wolverines. Anna Pickering. Now to Stainbrook. Stainbrook in the 68th minute looking for London Miller. London Miller calling for it. London Miller gets it. London Miller onside. London Miller swings this one into toward that back post. Julie Carter trying to get there in time. Couldn't, though. Sydney Bushman does well to get a foot on it. And in cold, soggy conditions, those balls like that might be a little bit more difficult to try and get your feet and keep your feet moving.
But she kept it in front of her, which is the most important thing, because the other thing that could happen is it could bounce and go right past you in these wet conditions.
And it looks like a referee is awarding Seattle U a yellow card. So a yellow card is issued to Valentina Bernal. Bernal, the guilty party. And Utah Valley here with the free kick, Melanie, in the 69th minute, has an opportunity to get a goal back.
They do. And with it this far out, what's going to matter most is the desire and passion to get something on the goal, or on the ball to head towards the goal.
Stainbrook serves this one to the box. The ball headed up in the air. Still bouncing. Jenna Shepard has it now inside the box, on the ground, on the post, and in the back of the net for the Wolverines. Jenna Shepard with the armband gets the Wolverines back within one. 2-1. Utah Valley trails in the 69th.
What a great set-piece opportunity. That's exactly what we're saying. They're dangerous opportunities, and that determination that I was talking about was just shown here by Jenna Shepard.
And we've been talking and preaching about the importance of set pieces. Utah Valley not giving up. First headed up in the air by the Redhawks. Then Bushman gets ahead on it. Eventually Shepard, patience, chests it down, gets just enough on it. Hits the post, maybe gets a touch off of Wagasback's leg, but settles in the back of the net. And Utah Valley is still in business.
A beautiful Jenna Shepard just showing her maturity right there, right? Center back goes into for the free kick. Takes control of the situation. She knows that nothing's going to happen with these lofty headers back and forth in the air. Sees that chesting, volleys down. Beautiful play. Beautiful, matured decision by Jenna Shepard. Great finish. And right away we can see Seattle U, okay, we got to get our starters, key players back out there.
So some substitutions now coming back in. Dixon for the Redhawks. Anna Pickering jostling to try and get around along with Heather Stainbrook. Players go down. Referee blows the whistle. And he's going to say the foul against Heather Stainbrook. So a free kick here for the Redhawks in the 70th minute. Now 20 minutes left, a lot of soccer left to play at Clyde Field. Utah Valley with a little bit more moxie. Seattle U maybe woken up just a little bit. The Redhawks still with that 1-goal lead. But Utah Valley now, I think most importantly, has that confidence, Melanie, because they know it's like, okay, we broke through. We've seen one, and now we know that we can score another. And so we'll see how Utah Valley responds to Seattle U's response here.
Exactly. And, I mean, you see Seattle U battling as well. Something that I always say, but it's more true in this situation. The most crucial time in the game is the 5 minutes after a goal, no matter what team it is. If you really dictate the next 5 minutes, if UVU really chooses to dictate, take control over the game, that's a game changer.
And we'll see how the gamesmanship also enters into play with the final 10 minutes here. See certain players trying to take more time in certain situations than others. Lily Haskins now checking into the match for the Wolverines, trying to get a fresh set of legs, a fresh burst of speed up top for Coach LeMay.
And Lily Haskins is the player that can provide that. She wants it. Her passion for the game, her passion to be a freshman to make an impact is big. And we've seen it in a few games. We saw it with that burst of energy right there. She's going to bring a new energy to the game.
Sadie Brockbank goes down and gives way for a free kick. Bundle the guilty party there for Seattle U. And Heather Stainbrook, I thought she was going to take it extremely quickly. Instead, takes a couple steps back, surveys, takes a couple breaths here.
I think it's a great decision by Heather Stainbrook. You're down, you might as well send one into the box.
And she does. Back post action. This one headed back by Seattle U. Sadie Brockbank giving chase. And they're going to say last touched off of Seattle U. So throw-in coming for the Wolverines from the far side. Bree Eves to Brockbank. Brockbank trying to get it back to Eves. Somehow Brockbank still has it. Brockbank inside the box, kicked away and out of danger by Seattle U, all the way back to Grace Beeston. And I thought that ball had clearly come out, but the linesman said no. And a poor clearance here from Utah Valley with another dangerous moment. Nervy and Isabel Jones-Daw there to calm the fears momentarily for the Wolverines. So you can feel the tension and the energy escalating. Lily Haskins trying to get there in time. Wagasback is able to snuff out the spark.
Yeah, one goes to the other just like that, right? They're both not done yet. They're getting that extra goal.
Bushman taps it back to Shepard. Shepard kicking it downfield. Sadie Brockbank trying to give chase. Meanwhile, all the time that this has been going on, the nation's leading scorer in Sydney Carr has been jumping, doing her calisthenics in front of us, trying to get ready to get back on the pitch. Bushman. Brockbank touches it down to Tripp. Tripp, nice layoff ball. Julie Carter in the box. Julie Carter gets taken down. Coach LeMay is sprinting onto the field with his hands out, now looking out to the near linesman, wondering what was going on with that call. Head official says play on.
What a beautiful build-up, though, from UVU, right? That's the ball that we've been waiting for Amber Tripp. Work with Sadie Brockbank, find the through ball. Unfortunately, maybe got a little ruffled in the box, but as long as we're creating those opportunities, we'll be able to maybe get back in this game.
So 75th minute, 15 minutes left in regulation. Ball's played back in. Utah Valley, Sadie Brockbank jostling. Sadie Brockbank coming across the top of the box. Brockbank lays this one down. Olanda outside the box for the Wolverines. Olanda back in. Oh, nobody there on the back post for the Wolverines. Wagasbach left her foot. That was a beautiful opportunity. Fantastic ball from Olanda. And Utah Valley with the corner kick taken quickly. Beeston sent this one back in toward the box, going back post, and nobody home for the Wolverines.
Hey, they're in it, right? They're hungry. They're coming after it. Beautiful setup by Nicole Olanda, getting from all the way from out to that space. Great idea to take that corner early. Unfortunately, too much strength from freshman Grace Beeston, sending the ball wide. But it's coming.
The Wolverines have been knocking on the Redhawks' door the last 8 minutes. And some fantastic chances by the Wolverines as well. Now this is where the danger will kick in for Seattle U. They're very dangerous, very crafty, getting back on that counter. But Amber Tripp putting pressure, Seattle U. Now a nice play there from Julie Carter. Jenna Shepard, now Stainbrook. Stainbrook with her left foot, right back to her. Stainbrook, Brockbank as the rain continues to pour and increase now here. Carter sends this one in the top of the box. Tapped away by Seattle U. Headed back to Beeston. Beeston with the big booming kick. So the Redhawks on their back heels, it seems like, over the last several minutes, and more starters coming back into the match for Seattle U. So Jenna Shepard, Heather Stainbrook, now Amber Tripp with it for the Wolverines. Amber Tripp trying to find that through ball to Haskins on the near side. Kicked out of play. Out of harm's way by the Redhawks. Jenna Shepard now on the near side. Nicole Olanda in full sprint. Olanda with space, takes a touch, makes a defender slip. Now Stainbrook. Stainbrook surveys, goes back to Olanda. Olanda coming in with speed. Olanda on the ground in the box, kicked away by that back line of Seattle U. Stainbrook dances around Carr, and now Carr gets in Stainbrook's face, and finally a whistle is called. And the referee is going to call for a timeout, and he's going to call Carr and Stainbrook together to talk in front of him. Carr frustrated. Stainbrook. Now in the 78th minute, as the referee awards the foul against Sydney Carr. Nicole Landa is going to take the honors here for the Wolverines. Intensity building and mounting here at Clyde Field. 78th minute. Seattle U, Utah Valley, WAC soccer. What more do you want, Melanie?
Doesn't get better.
Here's Nicole Landa sending this one in the box. Heather Stainbrook has it, lays it off for Lily Haskins, and the ball eventually gets poked away by Seattle U. Now again, here's where the dangerous part for the Redhawks. This is how the Redhawks counter. The Redhawks sprinting back. The Redhawks have numbers, spreading out that back line for the Wolverines. Nice play by Bree Eves to get a toe touch. Bunnell trying to keep it alive here for the Redhawks. Amber Tripp gets the ball past the defender. Can Julie Carter get there in time? Julie Carter does. 79th minute. Tripp calling for it back. Carter's pass deflected. Brockbank inside the box. Brockbank turns. Brockbank just barely misses. Lily Haskins was there. A wide open back net.
And we get the corner. Skimming across the goal line. I don't know what Lily or Heather Stainbrook could have done to slide and get something, a toe. But here we get another chance.
Nicole Landon toward the back post, headed down inside the box. Now Seattle used Bunnell getting this ball away. Stainbrook. Brockbank trying to bend this one into that far corner post.
You know, I mean, we still have 10 more minutes in this game, but I hate to say it, that could have been, that should have been the equalizer goal, taking us into an opportunity to win or go into overtime or whatever. But those are the plays that you just gotta slide, throw yourself, get whatever you can to finish the play.
So the Wolverines continue to attack over the last 10 minutes. It's just been a barrage of Wolverines for the Redhawks, and you have to tip your cap to the Redhawks' backline defense. Utah Valley still hasn't put in that second goal, and they've been able to put themselves in situations to try and manipulate that Wolverine offensive attack, but it's been very nervy for these Redhawks here in the last 10 minutes. Utah Valley continuing to put on that pressure, and it looks like Coach LeMay is going to bring in a sub here. The next opportune moment. Meanwhile, on the pitch, Utah Valley still with possession. Amber Tripp now momentarily loses it. Back to Bree Eves, who gets her pocket picked. And Sydney Bushman trying to outrun the nation's leading scorer, Sydney Carr, and she does. So two Sydneys going back at it. And a quick throw in by the Redhawks. Bree Eves. Amber Tripp. Now Haskins. Now eventually back to Seattle U. So London Miller talking with head coach Chris LeMay about coming back into the match here. Grace Beeston will throw it in for the Wolverines on the far side. As the sun continues to set behind us, the lights get brighter, weather gets colder, and the rain gets heavier. And Coach LeMay is going to have London Miller come in here for Bree Eves. Some more attackers for Utah Valley. And speaking of attack right now, Seattle U on the attack. There's a shot by Carr right in the hands of Isabel Jones-Daw. So 9 minutes left in regulation. These two teams, no stranger to overtime between the two. Do we have overtime in the cards here at game one of the two this weekend here in Orem? Seattle U leading 2-1. Less than 10 minutes of play in regulation. Utah Valley got a goal from Jenna Shepard in the 64th. Carr got her nation-leading 14th goal in the 35th. Bunnell on a penalty kick in the 34th for the Redhawks. And that's where we stand, 2-1. And London Miller officially comes in for Bree Eves. And Anna Pickering comes in for Nicole Landa. some more attacking players here for head coach Chris LeMay in the waning minutes, Melanie.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I love most about Coach Chris LeMay. He is not afraid to do what it takes to get that extra goal. It's worked, especially with Jenna Shepard up top. It can be dangerous, so that they got to execute it well and be very disciplined with the two in the back.
So now Seattle U trying to maintain their possession. Jenna Shepard getting a toe touch on it. Brockbank now to Lily Haskins. Lily Haskins has numbers to her left. Haskins trying to go through her defender. Haskins sees this one get last touched off of the defender for Seattle U. Solid toe touch there to dispossess the Wolverines from Michelle Adam. Anna Pickering gives way for a corner kick, or a corner kick for the Wolverines. So 84th minute here. Lily Haskins at the corner. Haskins, her service. Up inside the box. Ball bouncing all around. Deflected back out to Amber Tripp for the Wolverines. Tripp cuts back, sends this one into the box. And Tripp gets a deflection on it, and it'll go out of play for a throw-in for the Redhawks. So 84th minute, 35 degrees. And the weather says with the wind feels more like 28. So frigid conditions out there for the two squads. Utah Valley trailing 2-1. Seattle U clinging on to this lead here in the waning minutes of the half and of the match. Can Utah Valley find an equalizer and force extras? Or can Seattle U hold their ground and stave off this barrage of offense from the Wolverines? Stainbrook. Anna Pickering. Pickering back to Miller. Miller has an opportunity. Lays it off inside the box. And another whistle is called. And a foul will be given against Utah Valley. And the whole Seattle U coaching bench comes over here right in front of us. Right on the fringe of their coaching line. About 5 minutes left in regulation. Stainbrook with the head on it for the Wolverines. Haskins now with it. Trying to get it over here to Stainbrook. Heather Stainbrook. And a searching ball right into Wagasback. And so the clock is malfunctioning, so the referee blows a whistle to stop things here. So the referees are trying to figure out what time it is. By my calculations, it should be about 85-25. So, more technical difficulties as it looks like the box is turned off. So a free timeout, essentially, for the squads, and this is a momentum killer. And this is one of those situations. So the referees are coming over, the headlinesmen coming over to work things out with the UVU crew. Meanwhile, the Green Man Gang bang on their drums, and the players are stalling. And Melanie, I don't know if you were ever in a situation like this when you were playing, where the clock just stops and you have to try and pick things back up. But that was a heated exchange here for the last several minutes. And all of a sudden you just got to stop for what's a solid minute, and then all of a sudden they're going to drop the ball and you got to get right back in the flow of things again.
Yeah, it's with your mind for sure. But it's something that you can't stop, right? Your body, I mean, the game may be physically stopped, but you got it. You see some players, shaking their legs, trying to stay warm, trying to keep their mind in the game, because that's what matters most. The game is stopped, but they got to keep their head in it. They got to stay warm, especially in these freezing conditions.
So now the clock's been trying to work their magic, trying to switch things up on the clock, because they're trying to redo it, and it seems like anytime it goes back to the number 85, then all of a sudden the clock stops, the whistle blows, and so they're trying to reset the clock here, maybe trying to count down.
But ultimately, the ref has been keeping track of the time the whole time, so whatever time will be on the scoreboard is going to be the correct time, because the refs have been keeping track of time on their watch.
So they're trying to talk it over here. So here we are trying to figure things out at Orem, Utah. Brandon Crow alongside Melanie Osler. Ben Schroeder here with us as well. And clock malfunctioning. And so what Utah Valley had a lot of momentum. They were knocking on Seattle University's door. Seattle U had a moment or two as well where they were trying to attack. Isabel Jones-Daw came out, made a save. And all of a sudden, as soon as the clock hit 85 minutes, then it just shut off. And so they're trying to figure things out, trying to play. And Utah Valley desperately trying to scramble and trying to get back into that game mode, trying to find that equalizing goal to try and force some extras here. And what a bizarre turn of events.
It is, but here we are. Game on.
So 4:30, and then we're going to count down now. 4:30 left. Utah Valley was able to get everything working here. Technical difficulties and people trying to blame other people for machines malfunctioning. And Seattle U is going to get a corner kick. I beg your pardon. Nope. A quick kick from Isabel Jones-Daw. Now Grace Beeston. Grace Beeston kicking the ball up the field. Sydney Bushman trying to get ahead on it. Julie Carter now get a chest. Julie Carter dives, keeps it in play. Trying to sprint to get over there is Sadie Brotbank in the corner. Brotbank does get there in time. Brotbank with the turn. Brotbank runs into a defender. Last touched off of Seattle U. So 3 minutes, 45 seconds left in regulation. Utah Valley in Seattle U territory. Can the Wolverines find an equalizer in the waning minutes here? Stainbrook plays it back for the Wolverines to Beeston. Beeston kicks his ball up the field. Inside the box, looking for Haskins. Haskins gets pushed off the ball from behind. Seattle U trying to find some sort of breakaway. Isabel Jones-Daw comes all the way up from her goalkeeping spot. Bodies fly. Ball comes near to Anna Pickering for the Wolverines. Pickering plays it back to Heather Stainbrook. 3 minutes left in regulation. Anna Pickering for the Wolverines. Anna Pickering still with it for the Wolverines. Anna Pickering down toward that byline. Cuts back to her left. Gets around her defender. Pickering inside the box. Headed away by the Red Hawks. Stainbrook now with it for the Wolverines. Plays it back to the center circle. Beeston. Not enough on that to get anything dangerous inside the box. And Seattle U with the header in the most dangerous player's hands is Sydney Carr. Sydney Bushman dispossesses. So the green Sydney beats the white Sydney. Played all the way back to Isabel Jones-Daw. Jones-Daw now 2:30 left on the clock. To Heather Stainbrook. Stainbrook just inside Seattle U territory. Kicks this one trying to find Jenna Shepard, this ball laid off toward that byline, kicked out of play by the Redhawks of Seattle U. Corner kick coming here for the Wolverines. Very nervy. This could be a big opportunity here for the Wolverines. Instead of a corner kick, they elect to say it's a throw. I beg your pardon. 2 minutes left. Brockbank fires. Walkers back, drops it. Equalizing goal for the Wolverines with 2 minutes left in regulation.
We saw them knocking. We saw the dangerous balls they were playing in, especially with how many attackers were up in, and it paid off.
Jenna Shepard records a brace. In dramatic fashion, Utah Valley ties it up with 2 minutes left. Amber Tripp with the throw in. Brockbank with the touch. Brockbank with the shot. Wagasback just drops it. And Jenna Shepard right there to put it in the back of the net.
A beautiful executed play, starting from the throw and allowing UVU to set up. Beautiful execution by Sadie Brockbank. Sending a bullet of a ball, right, in this condition. I wouldn't be able to catch that. I'd drop it for sure. Jenna Shepard doing what she does best.
So now Utah Valley has 1 minute 52 seconds to try not to concede a goal. Seattle U, same thing. Can the Wolverines come away miraculously and find another goal in the next minute 40 seconds? Brockbank driving for the Wolverines. Brockbank getting shoved off the ball. Nice toe tap away by the Redhawks. The ball played back to Jenna Shepard, who has 2 goals on the day. What a bizarre 15 minutes we've had. Clock stoppages. Utah Valley coming up with a crazy goal to tie things up. Anna Pickering trying to deflect this for London Miller. London Miller using those freshman fresh legs. Miller down toward Pickering. Pickering down to the byline. Pickering inside the box. Back post. Nobody there for the Wolverines to finish it home. Final minute left of regulation. Heather Steinbrook with it. Less than a minute left. And Steinbrook with an easy one hopper right to Wagasback. Sydney Bushman going to play this back to Isabel Jones-Daw. Jones-Daw with a running kick. One hopper right to Bunnell for the Redhawks in the center circle. A lot of space here for the Redhawks. 30 seconds left. Very nervous moment. Beeson trying to defend here. This ball kicked toward that back post. Nobody home. Finally, Nicole Landis sets it down, cradles it between her legs. 12 seconds left in regulation. Redhawks with 5 seconds left, 4 seconds left. And that's how regulation will end. My goodness. 2-2 at the end of regulation. We go to extras here at Clyde Field in Orem, Utah. Free soccer, Melanie.
More than we're asking for. I love it.
So we knew that this game was going to be crazy. We knew it was going to be close. We didn't know how crazy it was going to be. Jenna Shepard with the equalizing goal in the 88th minute. We're going to take a quick break. I got to get some water to clear my throat. We're going to get ready for extra time on the WAC Digital Network after this.
Right next to UVU, Wolverine Crossing is a premier award-winning student property in Orem. With nearly $5 million in renovations, Wolverine Crossing has the look and feel of luxury living, including contemporary upgrades and top-tier amenities. Wolverine Crossing supports a strong academic environment, whether you're on campus or online, and the resident assistant program is nationally recognized, keeping you safe and secure. Lease right now and get $200 off your first month's rent. Wolverine Crossing. This is home.
At Murdoch Hyundai, the model year-end sales event starts now. The open road to adventure begins at Murdoch Hyundai. Visit Murdoch Hyundai today and get 0% interest for 6 years on a new 2020 Santa Fe or Sonata. You walk through our doors, you feel like family at Murdoch Hyundai in Logan, Linden, and Murray.
At Intermountain Healthcare, we understand that broken arms haven't stopped. Babies continue to be born, emergencies continue to happen, and doctor visits are still needed. At Intermountain Healthcare, we've put the measures in place to safely care for you in these difficult times. So please, don't put off the care you need, especially for stroke-like symptoms, chest pain, difficulty breathing, or other urgent care. We're here for you. Visit intermountainhealthcare.org/here4you to learn how to get the care you need.
Winter has arrived, and with it, the Murdoch All-Wheel Drive event. Be prepared for any Utah winter roads. Visit Murdoch Hyundai today and get 0% interest for 5 years on a new Tucson. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family. At Murdoch Hyundai in Logan, Linden, and Murray.
At UCCU, we do mortgages fast. Seriously fast.
Just use your phone or computer to fill out UCCU's super easy mortgage application.
And buying or refinancing a home has never been this easy. Seriously fast and super easy.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
Right next to UVU, Wolverine Crossing is a premier award-winning student property in the...
Welcome back to a soggy Clyde Field at Orem, Utah. Brandon Crow alongside Melanie Osler. 2-2 after regulation. We're going to go into extras, 2 10-minute periods, and what a wild turn of events. The last 5 minutes, once the clock hit 85, the machine stopped, and then both benches got upset because they wanted to play soccer, but we just had to play. Jenna Shepard finally found the equalizing goal in crazy fashion in the 88th minute. And again, you take a look at the overall stats here, standings. Seattle U and CBU right there tied at the top, Melanie. Utah Valley right behind them, 7-2-1. Utah Valley wins this game. They got the same record as Seattle U.
Exactly. It's definitely, we talked about it earlier, this game is going to give us a sneak peek at what the conference tournament's going to look like. Obviously, you always fight for that number 1 and number 2 seed for that first round bye, and this game is what's going to determine it.
We'll take a look at some highlights here. This is the equalizing goal from Jenna Shepard, equaling to her second on the day. Amber Tripp gets the ball into Sadie Brockbank. Brockbank gets the turn. She tosses that ball into the box, and Wagasback just couldn't hold on to it. The soggy conditions, the laser-like shot that was from Stainbrook slips through her hands. Jenna Shepard misses opportunity in the right spot, in the right moment, puts it in the back of the net, and you saw the jubilation right there. You know how much this means to a person like Jenna Shepard, who's been there, who's seen Seattle U defeat Utah Valley over and over.
Yeah, and it says a lot about Jenna Shepard alone. We've talked about how she's a beast, right? She's holding our defensive line together, and this is what I love about her. We talk about Chris LeMay's tactic of, hey, we're playing with 2 in the back. We're sending Jenna Shepard up there because he knows and they know that she's the captain for the reason, right? She carries this team on her shoulders, and the team can rely on her for doing what it takes to put the ball in the back of the net.
All right, Melanie. The whistle sounds. And Seattle U starts overtime, extras, golden gold stuff with the ball. So whoever scores first is the winner. Utah Valley again in their home greens. Seattle U in their road whites with the red trim. Utah Valley has read this book time and time again, and they know the ending with Seattle U in overtime. They're trying to change that narrative, trying to be like those books in the past where it's you want this ending, turn to this page. Utah Valley right now controls their own destiny, essentially.
They do, especially with the level that they're coming out on, right? They're the ones with the motivation right now. Everything's kind of going in their favor right now. If they can take that energy into this overtime period, I'd like to think that it will translate into the golden goal.
And on the other side, if you're Coach Woodward and you're Seattle University, you've been here before. This is not your first rodeo, not just with Utah Valley, but you've been in pressure cook situations, and there's a reason why you're 7-1-1 right now on the season. And so Coach Woodward, trusting that her girls are just relying on their laurels and what they have known and their instincts, and playing the Seattle U ball that she's coached them out to play.
Exactly, and they're going to come out fired up. They were up 2-0. What makes UVU able to come back 2-2 and finish this game? They're fired up. They're going to say, hey, we're going to finish what we started.
So 8:30 left in overtime number 1. Utah Valley again in the home greens. Seattle U in the road whites with the red trim. Free kick coming for the Redhawks. And just standing here calling this game, Melanie, I've got winter socks, winter clothes. I can't feel my feet or my toes. And I don't know how these players are out there in these conditions doing this, trying to get pace and heat on a ball.
You know, to be honest, I was a soccer player myself, and I still don't know. Some players love it. I personally hated it. It's the worst.
And another shout out to our camera crew who braving the conditions. They don't get rest. They're just up there hanging in the crow's nest in the winter crazy conditions. 7:28 left here in overtime number 1. Amber Tripp and Bree Eves as Eve slips, trying to send a ball to Julie Carter. Wagas back with Miller giving chase. Olanda comes in to dispossess. Amber Tripp with the turn. Amber Tripp looking for Brockbank. Brockbank back, trying to find Tripp, excuse me. Now Stainbrook with it. Stainbrook lays it off for Stainbrook. Brockbank dispossesses. Amber Tripp finally calling for it, and Amber Tripp just didn't see what was coming from behind her. Nice piece of defense there by Seattle U. Now Bree Eves for the Wolverines. Eves to Brockbank. Brockbank trying to split some defenders. Brockbank gets tugged and pulled from behind. Referee says play on. Back to Eves. Eves slides it up to Brockbank. Brockbank has Miller to her left. Amber Tripp and then Julie Carter on the outside. Bunnell, the goal scorer from the PK in the 54, steps in to dispossess. Looking for the nation's leading scorer. The goal scorer in the 35th in Carr. Carr dances around Stainbrook. Nice defensive play there by Jenna Shepard. And nobody home on the offensive side as Shepard clears this one back to Wagasback.
Yeah, UVU's been playing really in the center of the field, right down the middle. We've kind of seen it hasn't been working out. They're running into a traffic jam. They got to find the space out wide, switch the field from side to side, play into the space. It will be a lot easier. It will open up the space or open up the field for them to allow to play the ball into the space.
So Anna Pickering coming back into the match for the Wolverines, and she comes in for Sadie Brockbank. And so we saw this strategy from Coach LeMay early on, bringing in those fresh legs, those attacking legs, those fast legs. And Sadie Brockbank, whose shot forced Wagasback to come out and try to make the save, but the crazy conditions forced Wagasback to let that ball slip through, and Jenna Shepard was there to put it through. Here's a ball dangerously inside the box. Utah Valley's Julie Carter goes down. She looks at the referee. Hometown Faithful wanted to call, but in that situation, I don't think a referee is going to call a PK that quickly.
Yeah.
Beeston now to Eves. Eves lays it off the left-hand side to Julie Carter. 4:46 left in for first overtime. London Miller trying to get around her defender. London Miller still strong with it. Kicked out by Seattle U. Down toward that byline. And eventually kicked out of play by the Redhawks. Throw-in coming for the Wolverines. Stainbrook plays this back to Shepard. Sydney Bushman. A searching ball, trying to find Julie Carter. Can Julie Carter get there in time? Julie Carter does. Carter down by the byline. Carter sends this one into the box, headed away by the defense of Seattle U. Right back to Heather Stainbrook. Stainbrook gets the ball right back, sends it across to Bushman. Bushman, head on a swivel, looking upfield. Finds Tripp. Amber Tripp dances around, lays it off for Pickering. Pickering inside toward the box, headed up and away. Still in play, however. Ball bouncing still around inside the box. Bushman This ball played all the way back to Isabel Jones-Daw. 3:30 left in the first overtime. Grace Beeston. Grace Beeston looked like she got an elbow to the face as she goes down. Bushman gives possession and angle to Carr. Utah Valley now in a very vulnerable spot defensively. Luckily, Nicole Lando was there to deflect this ball out of play. So here comes Seattle U with 3 minutes left in the first overtime. Seattle U with the throw. 2:40 left in the first overtime. Bushman heading this away from near danger. Julie Carter trying to get there for the Wolverines. Julie Carter does get there. London Miller is onside. Bunnell coming in. Almost doing anything and everything that she can for the Seattle U team. Very underrated, extremely gifted player for this Red Hawk squad. And a foul or a whistle is going to be called away from the ball against Seattle U. Stainbrook with the free kick opportunity. 2 minutes left here in the first overtime. Stainbrook swings this one into the top of the post. Now Bree Eves. Bree Eves has a shot, has a go, bounces. Dangerous look.
Dangerous look, good opportunity. You know, they haven't really sent anything dangerous towards the goal. You might as well, but a little too far out in my opinion. Bree Eves, she's good at creating those opportunities, seeing those gaps. Wish I would have saw a little bit more patience to see if she could have played one pass closer to goal.
Julie Carter trying to find Anna Pickering. Anna Pickering had a little bit too much pace for her own self, it looked like. Wolverines had numbers on that opportunity as well. Amber Trimp with it for the Wolverines. 1:16 left in the first overtime. That ball gets by Julie Carter. Now the near side for the Red Hawks. And that ball goes out of play with 1 minute left of the first overtime. So we're looking at about a less, if nothing happens in 50 seconds, looking at a final 10 of soccer here today. Julie Carter trying to get the ball in quickly. She does. London Miller goes down, and a free kick for the Wolverines. Coach LeMay saying, take your time. 30 seconds left. Jenna Shepard telling Heather Stainbrook to wait. Stainbrook saying, go. Utah Valley essentially putting all their eggs in one basket here. Stainbrook sends this ball into the post. Bounces around. And Seattle U clears it.
That's still a little too rushed in my opinion. You saw that, hey, we only have 15 seconds. We might as well capitalize on this opportunity, take a few deep breaths, get our team set up in a true position where we could score.
So we are going to the final extra time period, the final 10 minutes here at Clyde Field, as if 100 minutes is not enough, Melanie. We're going to play 110. Utah Valley and Seattle U tied up 2 apiece. We'll be right back in 2 minutes on the WAC Digital Network.
At UCCU, we do mortgages fast.
Seriously fast. Just use your phone or computer to fill out UCCU's super easy mortgage application.
You'll receive an instant pre-approval. before you start shopping.
Your completed mortgage file will be underwritten by UCCU's very own in-house professionals.
Like us.
Seriously fast.
Buying or refinancing a home has never been this easy.
Seriously fast and super easy.
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
It's what we do.
Introducing the new KSL Sports app, powered by KSLSports.com, Utah's only all-in local sports app, connecting you with all the action you love. Free. Download the free KSL Sports app today from your favorite app store.
Well, Melanie, as if 100 minutes wasn't enough, we're going to go with a full 110 here in Orem, Utah, Clyde Field. Brandon Crow alongside Melanie Osler with you, Ben Schroeder as well. Thank you for joining us on this frosty, chilly, but exciting Thursday afternoon here in Orem, Utah. 2-2 is the score right now. Utah Valley scored 2 goals in the second half after Seattle U scored in the first. They went to break leading 1-0. Seattle U got a PK in the 54th minute and put them up 2-0. Utah Valley trailed for the final 30 minutes, 2-0, and they came back and they were able to score 2 goals. Both goals coming from Jenna Shepard, one in the 64th, one in the 88th minute. And nothing happened in the first 10 minutes of overtime. But here we go, the final 10 minutes of regulation. We either have a winner and a loser, or we come away with both teams tied up at 2 apiece. Golden goal, the final 10 minutes of play from Orem, Utah is underway. Utah Valley with the possession. Utah Valley in their home greens as the rain continues to pour. Again, frigid conditions here in Orem, Utah. This rain will be turning into snow about 30 minutes or so after this game is supposed to end. Seattle U and Utah Valley both used to these conditions. And fantastic soccer match all around. Grace Beeson has been getting beat up tonight, taking all these sorts of punches. Utah Valley trying to come away victorious here, trying to complete the full comeback. Coming back from 2-0. London Miller gets dispossessed from behind. The ball played all the way to the near side, kept in play by Seattle U somehow. Here come the Redhawks marching on the Utah Valley Wolverines' door. Stainbrook trying to play a defender. Stainbrook trying not to foul. This one slide into the box. London Miller lays it up for Anna Pickering. Anna Pickering anticipates the touch and the contact. And now Gina Leedy. All the way over the near side, Michelle Adam. The intensity from both coaching staffs, both benches continuing to mount. Jenna Shepard, who scored both goals for Utah Valley with the header to kick this one away. Pickering for Utah Valley heads this one in the air. Stainbrook now with it for the Wolverines. And Bunnell trying to find Sydney Carr. Sydney Carr frustrated. The nation's leading goal scorer with 14 goals. One of those goals coming today. Wants another opportunity to put her team in the winning column. Meanwhile, Utah Valley now in Seattle U territory sees Bree Eves come back into the match. And she'll come in, and London Miller will step off. 7:40 left here in double overtime. And if my voice starts to fade, it's because this has been a crazy game, Melanie.
Your voice is going longer than you got ready for.
Header in a dangerous position. Bree Eves lays this off for Nicole Olanda. Nicole Olanda now toward the byline. Olanda goes 1v1 with her defender. Cuts. Olanda loses it inside the box. And Seattle U just trying to get this ball out of harm's way. Played all the way back to Heather Stainbrook. Stainbrook with the left foot across the pitch. Finds Julie Carter. 7 minutes left in double overtime. Carter's ball in the box. Headed away by Seattle. Jenna Shepard's ball, looking for Brockbank. Now Carter with it. Carter all the way down to the near side, and Anna Pickering. Pickering outside the box. Pickering kicks it right at her defender, and this one goes out of play off the defender. Corner kick for the Wolverines. Looks like that one stung a little bit for Gina Leedy as she's limping back to that near post. So Nicole Olanda, 6:30 left in double overtime, has a Wolverine corner kick opportunity. Olanda's corner kick. Sent in toward the box, headed up in the air by Seattle U. Eves with the one-touch, corrals it, trying to kick it. This one played all the way back to Grace Beeston. Beeston back to Eves. And Eves was trying to find Jenna Shepard. This one goes all the way back to Wagasback. So 5:50 left in double overtime. Wagasback's kick gets past Amber Tripp, and Heather Stainbrook finally kneed in the air. Whistle is finally called against Seattle U. The referee is still continuing to push the ball back. Stainbrook finally gets the ball down on the ground. And Coach LeMay telling Stainbrook to give way for Nicole Olanda. Coach LeMay telling Olanda to take her time. Olanda with the hand in the air. Olanda sends this one in toward that far post, headed away by Seattle U. Stainbrook coming in to get it for the Wolverines. 5 minutes left in double overtime. Utah Valley has been knocking on the door for the Seattle U Redhawks ever since overtime started. Amber Tripp can't get around her defender. Grace Beeston with Carr pursuing from behind. Dangerous play. Isabel Jones-Doff finally gets it back up. Very nervy, very sketchy for the Wolverines, to say the least. Bree Eves, beautiful one touch in the center circle. Searching ball, trying to find Brockbank, can't get to it. Amber Tripp coming in from the left side. Amber Tripp being screened from behind. 4 minutes left.
I mean, we've seen it so far. We're going to continue to see it. Being a little soft, you have to stay 100% in. We can't afford these 50% passes, especially back to our own keeper. That could have resulted in a goal, and at this time, it's golden goal.
Amber Tripp lays it off for Stainbrook. Stainbrook shot high! Just by a couple feet, Stainbrook had a wide open, visible window. And a beautiful one-touch, great ball, great pass from Amber Tripp. Stainbrook just got too much underneath it, and it went high. And they're going to say it was deflected. So Utah Valley corner. 3:30 left in double overtime. Here's the corner kick from the Wolverines. Headed just over the post. Jenna Shepard flying in like Tarzan on his vine, trying to find the header to win it for the Wolverines. Misses by a foot.
It does. She's going for the hat trick. She wants it. She's hungry. We've been talking about Heather Stainbrook throughout this game. And you can see Jenna Shepard jump it and just barely over the crossbar. Two great looks within 10 seconds.
Utah Valley feeling it right now. Ooh, Julie Carter just barely misses that one inside the box. 2 minutes, 52 seconds left. Heather Stainbrook plays it back to Jenna Shepard. Shepard now to Amber Tripp. Tripp going to her right. Tripp looking for some help. Tripp inside the box. Tripp just barely misses. The ball still in play. Knocked out of play by Utah Valley. Utah Valley is looking chance after chance after chance here.
They're hitting every area of the goal. They've got right post, left post, crossbar. Hopefully it goes in net.
And this is where Seattle U is very dangerous because they can counterattack very quickly. And Utah Valley trying to continue to put this pressure offensively on the Redhawks. Stainbrook now to Brockbank. Brockbank trying to go around her defender. Brockbank's pass gets dispossessed. Brockbank comes back to win it back. .155 left in double overtime. Seattle U going to take their time. Olanda. Great header there from Seattle U. Grace Beeston beats Carr to the ball. Heather Stainbrook still with it. Heather Stainbrook running with the ball, trying to find her teammate. Julie Carter was the intended target inside the box. 1:21 left in double overtime. This has every feel, Melanie, of a championship match here. And a yellow card is awarded to Sadie Brockbank. So 1:13 left. The clock stops. London Miller going to come in for the Wolverines the next opportunity that she can. Michelle Adam with her left foot up the field. Heather Stainbrook heads this ball back into Seattle U territory. Final 65 seconds here in double overtime. Can somebody find the breakthrough? Beeston kicks this ball out of play. Seattle U throw. Utah Valley should be sending every green shirt available down inside the box to help Isabel Jones-Daw. 45 seconds left in double overtime. Referee plays advantage. Bree Eves looking for Sadie Brockbank. Pass can't connect. 32 seconds left. Wogs gap. Julie Carter looking for Brockbank, and the flag is up on the near side. 22 seconds left. Seattle U. Last desperation heave here. Redhawks send this ball down the field. Stainbrook puts a header on it. Ball still around inside the box. Kicked out. Final 10 seconds of regulation. Beeston trying to get there. Does. Kicks it out of play. And Seattle U and Utah Valley come away 2 apiece after 2 overtimes, Melanie. It's like a welterweight boxing match, blow for blow.
It is, and what a great game, right? I mean, overall, Seattle, I think it's fair to say they got those 2 goals in the first half, dominated the first half, but the 65 minutes after that was all UVU. Sneak peek to a very exciting Saturday match, to say the least.
If you didn't like that, then you don't like soccer. Plain and simple. Seattle U, Utah Valley tied up 2 apiece. Final after 2 overtimes. Brandon Crow, Melanie Osler, Ben Schroeder, thank you for joining us here on the WAC Digital Network. We're going to take about a, 36-hour break from now and come right back here on Saturday and try and do this round 2 between the Redhawks and the Wolverines. Final score after 2, Wolverines in Seattle tie it up 2 apiece. We'll see you on Saturday.